Welcome back. We are continuing with unit number 5 of our subject English, and the name of that unit is Nature and Style of Writing. We have already seen two different kinds of paragraphs, that is descriptive, that is describing, and another is defining kind of paragraphs. Now today we are going to have a look at classifying type of paragraph along with how to write an introduction and conclusion whenever you are writing any long content. Okay, let's begin with classifying. Classifying. Looking at the word classifying or understanding this word classification, you obviously come to know that we are talking about division, we are talking about arranging the things into categories, putting them into various classes. Like, for example, when you are studying in a school, you are divided into various classes. Now, these classes in which you are divided, it largely depends on which batch you are, what kind of subjects you have taken. If you have cleared your 10th standard and you go to your 11th standard classroom, you are not sitting with your friends who have taken science when you yourself have taken commerce. Why? Because you are classified over here. In 10th standard, you all might have been studying together because there was one thing common between all of you, and that was you were giving your 10th board examination. But now that you have chosen different fields, you are classified into various streams, that is science, commerce, or arts. So, classifying actually talks about taking a topic and then dividing into various parts, or classifying it, or putting it into various categories. So from this word we have the verb classify, which means to gather into categories. Rather than talking about we are dividing them, let us say we are gathering them and putting them into categories, into segments that are parts, into various methods, types, or kinds according to a single basic principle of division. That means there need to be something common between those all things or those all people or maybe those everything that is included in that particular class or category. There should be something common among them. Why five of your friends are put into one class and five of your friends are put into another class after 11th standard? The reason could be that your streams are different. Okay, so there is one common thing among you five and there is one common thing among other five of your friends. Based on this meaning, classification is defined as a logical way of thinking that enable us to organize a large number of ideas or items. Exactly. When you have a lot of work to do, when you have things in a bulk, you try to divide them. I with this remember one more classification example for the government employees who go from door to door, from house to house, just to collect data of the number of people living over there. This is usually done when the population of the country is calculated. That is called census. Okay, so census takes place every decade. That is, the last census was in 2011, the record came. But this year, due to the pandemic in 2021, one is not able to go from house to house and can count the people. So it might have delayed for the first time in the history of India after independence. So, calculating the population of a country in a decade, one person goes from house to house. They are not just going from place to place and taking the number of people living in the house, but they also divide them into categories. What kind of categories? How many of the people living in the house are below the age of 18? They are considered as children. How many people are in the family who are belonging to a senior citizen category, who are above 60 years of age? In the family, how many male members are there, how many female members are there, how many earning people are there, what is the profession? So this is the way different kind of information is taken from the members of each and every family when the population of the country is counted, so that in future if any kind of decision has to be made by the government, they can keep in mind that how many people or how much percentage of people will be affected by this. If they are taking any decision for the senior citizens, the government is going to look at the number or the percentage of population of senior citizens residing in the country. Okay, so by dividing them a bulky content, a bulky information into some parts to make it manageable and to keep it organized, classification is important. Classification also makes your understanding of things very easily. And any topic is given to you in an engineering, pharmacy, or any kind of field, if that topic is divided into categories, into subcategories and subpoints, it will be easy for students to remember it rather than giving them an entire paragraph to mug upon. Okay, so this means classification, large amount of material will be manageable and easier to understand for analyzing. Analyzing means for future study, whenever you want to take any decision, whenever you want to work upon it, if you have managed that information, if you have managed the material properly, organized or classified that, it will be helpful to you much. Moving ahead, what are the tips that you must keep in mind while you are writing a classifying paragraph? So, an important tip that has been given by Scary and Scary in their book from page number 489 to 490 is that you have to select a topic, decide on the basis for your classification. Whatever topic you take in your hand, go deep inside it and try to find out, can I classify this paragraph or can I classify this topic into various subcategories? If yes, go for it. Determine the categories for your classification. If you are classifying your topic, if you're classifying your paragraph, remember you have to find out, I am classifying on what basis. There should be some category, okay, and each category should be identified with a title or a name. When you divide a topic into various parts, you have to give them a particular name. Let's say for example, if I'm writing a paragraph or my topic is pollution, I will give a definition what pollution is, but after that, what am I going to do? I am going to divide it into various categories that are types of pollution. I'll go for air pollution, soil pollution, noise pollution. So when I am dividing them into various kinds or categories, I have to give them a name. I cannot directly say that they are divided into four types. I also have to give them a name. Like for example, air pollution. Then I will explain what air pollution actually is. I can give its example. I can show how much percentage it is affecting the people, how it is more harmful in compared to other types of pollutions that we have. Then I can go to soil pollution, then I can go to water pollution, then I can go to noise pollution. So this way I can divide my topic, and this is the way I can use classification method by giving them one title. I will divide them. I will divide the topic, and to each part that I have divided from the major topic, I am going to give them a name. And as it is written and as it is suggested by Scary and Scary, be as creative as possible. Moving ahead. To achieve coherence in classification, yes, very important. Coherence is logically connecting your ideas or logically connecting your sentences or your content. So when you want to connect your first sentence with the next sentence, or the idea that you have generated in the first sentence to the coming sentences, what you are supposed to do, you have to have coherence. And coherence is brought usually with the help of transitional words. Transitional words are the words which you can see, they are conjunctions or connectors. We can easily transit, that is, it can easily change you or bring you down from one sentence to the other one. So the transition is taking place, means moving from one place to another. And phrases are important to use. What are the different kinds of phrases or words that you can use when you are writing a classifying paragraph? Can be divided, can be classified, can be categorized, first, second, third, kind, type. The first type of pollution is air pollution. The first kind of pollution is soil pollution. Okay, so I can write like this. The second kind of pollution is this, that, and the first category, the second category, and third category. We are going to present awards today. The first category of awards are, the second category of awards are, so this way you can move on, and the last category. Okay, so these are some of the phrases that you can use, which is surely going to bring coherence in the work that you are doing. Let's see an example. So this is a long paragraph, but I will explain you the major parts. The topic that I have taken over here is of rock music. Now, what is written about rock music? Rock music is a title given, but then I have made it very easy by dividing it into various categories by saying that rock music is of three different types, and that are rock music, that is first alternative rock, classic rock, and hard rock, which is also known as metal. We will begin with alternative rock. So you can see that there are three types in which rock music is divided: alternative, classic, and hard. First, we will take alternative in our hand, and here the writer explains what alternative rock is. So it is showing the features of alternative rock. It has steady bass drum, it is laying down the beat, easy flowing with guitar riffs over the top, the bass line is toned, and the lyrics are sung with intensity and other things. Then we are going to the next one, that is classic rock. As you can see, what is classic rock? It is given what kind of combination of drum, guitar, high and low notes are required for creating classic rock. And then we see that it goes to the third type of rock, that is hard rock. So when you start with the hard rock, what kind of musical instruments are used? As you can see, amount of cymbal work is used. Here cymbals are not used. Cymbals means manjira. So this type of rock uses several electric guitars with high distortion to bring a very intense sound. So when you want to produce rock music, but various kinds of rock music, you have to combine different kinds of musical instruments, and you also have to look at the intensity on which they are played, and this way various rock music is made. And at the end, it doesn't matter what your preference is, each different style of rock music is unique on its own. So that is your concluding line. So in this way, you can take any topic and you can divide it into various categories, and this will become your classifying type of paragraph. I hope you understood this, and you can also take a screenshot of this slide, and you can also even pause it and have a look at it by reading it deeply. Okay. Going to the next topic, and that is writing introduction and conclusion. The way writing paragraphs are important, your essay or your article will look beautiful only when you have put a very powerful introduction and conclusion. See, we are learning paragraph writing mind well. We are not learning how to write an entire article or an entire essay. But by learning different kinds of paragraph writing, you can put this style in making a huge content, a long content like an article, a speech, or an essay or something. So we will just have a look at how can you write an introduction for any kind of topic on which you are writing, or how can you write a concluding paragraph. Again, I'm repeating, we are not writing about the introductory line, we are not writing about the concluding line. Here we will be discussing about introductory paragraph and concluding paragraph of any given topic. So the way different kinds of paragraphs are important, and introduction and conclusion in any kind of long essay is really important. Let's see. Introduction. The major work of an introduction is to grab the attention of the readers. As soon as you get a news article in your hand, or normal article in your hand, or an essay, or any long content, you will begin reading with the introduction. You will never go to the second or the third paragraph directly. So when you read the introduction, at that time you must find such kind of things that will glue you or force you to read the coming paragraphs. If the introduction is not good, what happens eventually? People or the readers are not interested. The same thing happens when you watch a movie or when you watch any kind of web series. Today is a world of web series. So in web series, usually the first uh, episode is concentrated on introduction only. I have also observed that introduction is the word given to most of the web series first season's first episode. Why? Because here the characters are introduced, the storyline is introduced, and when this introductory session ends, or when this introductory paragraph or introductory episode ends, at the end there comes a very terrifying twist, and this twist will force you to read or to see what comes next. And in the same way, your introduction should be when you are writing any long essay. What are the various ways in which you can make your introduction looks creative and looks very attractive? The first is you have to begin with an attention grabber. Attention grabber you use is up to you, but here are some of the ideas. First is startling information. Startling means those kind of information which surprises you. So when you start writing your introduction, you can give some kind of information or a data which surprise the readers. If you're writing an entire essay on COVID 19, in the first introductory paragraph, if you are mentioning the number of deaths, you are mentioning the number of people affected, if you are mentioning how your economy is going down or how it is affecting so many people around you, if exact numbers are given, some factual things are given which the readers are not aware of but are true. You can write it in the beginning, and this is the way people will be attracted towards your writing. So you have to startle your audience, you have to surprise your audience, you have to give them something in the beginning of your essay that will grab the attention, or that will force your readers to stick to your essay. So that could be it could be simply be a pertinent fact that explicitly illustrates the point you wish to make. Okay, any kind of factual information, if you're writing about pollution, any kind of pollution related fact you can mention and information you can give. So if that information is something that your readers have not heard of before, what will happen? They will be interested in knowing more about it. But whatever information you're giving, that should be connected with what you want to tell your readers in the coming paragraph. If your information is about pollution, you cannot write your further paragraphs or any kind of pandemic. Why? Because your topic and the example, or maybe any kind of information that you have given, should be related to the topic. If you use a piece of startling information, follow it with a sentence or two of elaboration. Just a line of information or just a line which shows facts is not important. You also have to support those facts. Give one or two sentences after that, giving a clear idea about those factual things that have been written. Next is anecdote, and that is what I like the most. Begin your essay with a story. Anecdote means a story with a moral. So when you are illustrating your point, when you are putting your point with a story in hand, what happens eventually is that audience get attracted. Here the readers will get attracted. But it is not that you must keep on telling your story for paragraphs and paragraphs. You have to cut it short. It should be short and it should be bang on point, and should be in relation to your topic that you are about to say. This can be very effective opener for your essay, but use it carefully. Yes, it is not everyone's cup of tea to relate the topic with a story, because finding a story that completely relates with your topic is very tough. Okay, other attention grabbers, that is dialogue. You might have seen some of the important leaders or some of the good speakers talking with their audience and beginning their conversation by asking them few questions or having conversation with them. Like, for example, if there is a political leader who is addressing a rally, he will come and ask them, okay, how are you all? I hope you are feeling good. No, you people have come so far over here just to listen to what I am saying. Look around you. What can you find? How are people suffering nowadays? The development that you can see in your area. Are you happy with this? So, this way, the dialogue, the conversation goes on between the speaker and the listener. The same thing could be implemented in your writing part also. Some of the people come up with introductory questions, like, for example, can you sleep peacefully at night? Do you feel safe at your home? Okay, so this kind of questions are asked by any person, or has been written by those people who are coming up with some or the other kind of insurance policies. So they can come up with this kind of content, and with this content then they begin with their conversation. If not, you need some kind of security. There are many securities that the world cannot provide you, but few of them we can provide you, and that is your financial security. And then they begin with that topic. Okay, so you can begin your topic with or you can begin your introduction writing with a dialogue. Use only two or three exchanges between the speakers to make your point. No, you don't keep on having conversations only, because this is not doubt clearing session, or this is not question answer session that is going on at the end of any kind of presentation. You are writing or mentioning your introduction. Okay, so you have to continue with that. Next is summary information. Yes, you can directly come with some of the sentences which are some general sentences, general terms that are talking about your introduction paragraph or about the topic that you have taken in your hand. So when you end your introductory paragraph, at that time you must end it by putting a summary of what you have written into your introduction. And you can also through this guide what is coming next. So understanding the situation of pollution in the further paragraphs, we will look them into the detail and what can be done to solve it. The challenges that are faced by people due to absence of natural resources are discussed further. Okay, so you can show in the last line of your introduction what is coming next with the essay. Okay, so these are some of the ways in which you can mention the introduction or you can write the introduction of your long essay. More things we are going to look in our next lecture, in which we will see an example of an introductory paragraph, and we will also continue how to write a concluding paragraph. Till then, keep on reading and enjoying.